Good afternoon, everybody. We have an exciting week of sports, a really exciting week of sports. It's early Wednesday, November 8th. I'm headed to Charlotte here this afternoon. Post work, making my way down there. We got Hokies basketball to watch. We got the women on Thursday. We got the men on Friday. And then we got football on Saturday. It's going to be tremendous. We are the Sons of Saturday, and we are here to preview Boston College versus Virginia Tech. Huge game. Boston College, bowl eligible. Virginia Tech trying to get bowl eligible. A lot of storylines. We're going to dive all into them. And Pat's going to do a haiku off the rip in his, is that a rowback? What is that?
It is.
Rocking the rowback. Nice little winter themed. That looks like something you'd be enjoying a steak at a Vail Steakhouse or something. I love it.
It's very nice and very patterned.
It is. It is.
Okay. I just changed my virtual background here. I don't know if you can see that. How about that? Yeah. So, Hokie Haiku. Big week of Hokies. Games all over the East Coast. Hoops and football win. Let's go 3 for 3.
That was really impressive. That was really good. You under pressure, Pat. Pat performs under pressure. High pressure, Pat. With the
unless that means I'm shooting threes in front of an audience.
That's a good plug. Make sure if you haven't seen it yet, our Slam Jam. It's our pinned tweet. It's a ton of fun basketball content. There was about a 90-second clip where Ed, Pat, and I all hit our threes in a row. Many are saying that we should walk on to the basketball team. We will not, but many are saying.
Yeah, because then we wouldn't be able to do this. Virginia Tech in Chestnut Hill, not the easiest place to win a football game. Last time we went up there, it was beyond ugly. This was kind of the mail it in of the Fuente era. We just didn't compete. It was honestly kind of similar to last week. I'm not going to compare those two teams, but as far as just not really showing up and not bringing the A game, that was definitely probably the low point of the 2021 season where, down less than 20 points and punting on fourth down. I just remember that was just, we don't have to talk about that game anymore. 2021 was not awesome. 2022 was awesome. It was in Lane Stadium, and we had a fantastic time, a fantastic party. That was a little ACC Network game of the week, night game, and it actually makes my memento this week. For the viewers, this is Memento. It's an app for sports fans. If you're a college football fan, if you're a college basketball fan, hey, if you like pro sports too, you track the games that you've been to, and you see the stats. You upload photos, you upload notes, you get to tag your friends. My favorite part is that you can see all of the games that that your friends or family have gone to, all the way back to 2013. I know they're adding more data to the app, but it's awesome. This is me and Dave and Caitlin and Dr. J and BRM and Jay and the Mitchells and a bunch of other people here celebrating our 27-10 victory last year. Coach Pry's first win as head Hokie. So had to shamelessly plug our friends at Memento. Check out the link to download in our article and on Twitter as well. Prior to 2021, as we talked about, there's been a handful of memorable games as well. We crushed them in 2020. 2019, Billy Ray and I was actually the first time we ever hung out at a Tech football game up in Boston. He will talk about Boston ad nauseum. I don't know if he plans to do that on this podcast.
Bad tailgate. You can't lead. You can't say anything about it. I'll preface all of my comments with one of the worst tailgating situations that you will see. Have a couple of Boston College people in my life. I love them dearly. Just not really a fun place to if I were going, I'd spend some time in the city and I'd probably Uber into the game about 30 minutes before kickoff. If I were you.
It's about right. We had a really, really big crew up there too. Because there were a couple of years that compounded from the Florida State tailgate in 2018. We took the group me and recycled it into 2019 and had all these guys and gals come up, and we shipped up to Boston for Labor Day 2019. Had an awesome time up there. But yes, to your point, the tailgating was less than subpar. I think Big Game Boomer probably would rate it as the worst tailgate in the Power Five. Just a lot of restrictions and limitations up at Boston College for tailgating. However, they're bowl eligible. I'm hoping that means that more people are going to games, and they're trying to push back a little bit on that tailgating restrictions and trying to have a little bit of fun. Let your hair down, Boston College.
If you're a Boston College fan listening, I would like you to sell me on your tailgating experience. What are we missing? What is there some lot where it goes down? I know you guys have a Hogwarts thing going on campus. If you're a Boston College fan stumbling across this, tell us why we're wrong or tell us why we're right. But yeah, much to be desired.
We could talk about our friend from Louisville, our new Twitter friend in the end of the pod. If you're a Boston College fan, comment, like, subscribe. Let us know in the comments here. Some more games. 2017 was the last time we won up in Chestnut Hill. When I think of the 2017 game, I just think Sean Savoy, Josh Jackson, and Tim Settle and the orange pants. Are you with me on that?
I am. I mean, an awesome defense, a super fun team to watch. Pretty much the 2017 year, I think it's fair to say that year was awesome up until we went to Miami. That was a really, really fun year up until we went to Miami. Even the UVA game was kind of weird. What did we win that game? 10-17? 17-10? 17-10?
10-0.
10-0. Yeah, that was just an incredible defense with a much to be desired offense. But all around, a really fun football season up until we went to Miami Gardens. But yeah,
just quite a challenge. Yeah, so no Phil Dracovic on this team. Keep going back to what really stands out, because this game forever, when Virginia Tech and Boston College were in opposite divisions in the Atlantic Coast Conference, this game was the crossover game, and Tech would play BC every single year. And unfortunately, it got to a point where it was a little bit exhausting, in my opinion. I know that this was a great game in the early 2000s. You had Matt Ryan and Dominique Davis up at Boston College, but Boston College as a football program has not been a fun program to really compete with. Let's go back to the 2008 ACC championship game. You had a Virginia Tech team that lost to East Carolina early on in the season, pretty much just fell backwards into the ACC championship this year. We actually went up to Chestnut Hill in 2008 and lost. And then Tyrod took over, got revenge in the title game. Tyrod had 2 touchdowns on the ground and got the ACC championship MVP honors in Jacksonville that day. And then Tech went on to win the Orange Bowl. A true turnaround. 2008 was definitely a roller coaster season. Orion Martin had a fumble 6 that game. Go back to 2007. Definitely one of the most fun and memorable Virginia Tech teams of all time, where Virginia Tech plays Boston College on a Thursday night in late October. And Matt Ryan and the number 2 ranked Eagles come to town, and they were loaded. They had a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Virginia Tech is up 10-0, and then with 2 minutes left, Boston College scores a touchdown, and then they recover the onside kick, and then they run down the field and score another touchdown, silencing Lane Stadium, which had been soaked from 3 straight quarters of pouring down rain. Tech loses the game 14-10. Boston College is the number 2 ranked team in the country. Looks as a serious BCS title game contender. And then Tech kind of took that juice and turned it around, won the next few games, got back to the ACC title game, and then the defense dominated. Matt Ryan did not have too much fun that evening in Jacksonville. You had Xavier DB pick 6 to seal the game. You had Sean Glennon played a tremendous game here, won ACC title MVP. Tech wins 30-16 and clinches an Orange Bowl berth. So we'll stop there. I think there's a few other BC games like the Michael Vick 1999 game, clinching our spot in New Orleans. We dominated them in 2005 as well. But I'm excited because this game actually means a lot, and there's a lot more stakes on the line. As far as making a comparison to recent years, where Virginia Tech really needs to win this football game. And Boston College has put together a nice little streak, and we're going to find out if they are for real or if they are, one of the more fraudulent bowl eligible teams in the country. Just a quick storyline here. Bill Roth put it out there on the X timeline. Over the last 30 years, Virginia Tech has played Boston College more than any other opponent. Saturday's game is going to be the 32nd meeting between Virginia Tech and Boston College since 1993. They met twice in ACC title games, and we played them a ton in the Big East before the ACC. This is a series that Virginia Tech leads 21-10. So definitely have had the upper hand here.
So you mentioned it earlier. Is Boston College legit? I want to preface my comments by saying this. Castellanos is one of the most entertaining players in all of the ACC, if not, dare I say, college football. We're going to talk about how productive he is for the Boston College offense. So I want to tip my cap to Boston College being bowl eligible at they're 6-3, correct? Yes, they are 6-3 right now. You could argue they should have beaten Northern Illinois, where they would be 7-3 right now. They have losses to Florida State and Louisville, just like we do in conference play. But we're looking at the wins this year by S&P Plus rank. I apologize. I do not have the name of the person who shared this on Twitter. But their wins right now, according to their S&P Plus ranking, number 62, Georgia Tech. They beat Georgia Tech by quite a few points. They won 38-23. They beat number 65, Syracuse. Syracuse has been in a nosedive in the S&P rankings. They beat them by 7. They were tied late. Number 93, Virginia, by 3 points last second. FCS, Holy Cross, they won by 3. Last second win, really, really bad. Holy Cross is rated 107 in Division I by S&P Plus. Number 102, Army, who just beat Air Force by 3 points last second. And number 132 by UConn by 7. So look, are they 6-3? Yes. Are they bowl eligible? Yes. Have they beaten good teams? No. You look at some of their losses. They did play Florida State very, very closer than anybody has this year. Florida State seemed to sleepwalk through that game. I'm not going to go down my Florida State soliloquy here. I think that they don't really belong in the conversations with the Michigan, Ohio States, Washingtons, and Oregons of the world. They've won every game that they've played. But I think they are extremely flawed. So hat tip to Coach Hafley. I think bowl eligibility this early for Boston College is certainly impressive, given where they are, given their challenges academically, recruiting wise. But this is not your average 6-3 team. So let's dive into the offense here. It's pretty much the Castellanos show, but talk to me about what that unit is doing as a whole.
26.4 points per game, which is good for 59th in the country. Then you look at it, they're averaging 211 rushing yards per game and 211 passing yards per game. Would you say that this is a balanced offense?
I would not say that it's balanced. We're going to talk a little bit about the good for Boston College. Number one, I have to tip my cap to my guy, Christian Mahogany, holding it down on the offensive line. Went to Paramus Catholic. Would have loved for him to go to Virginia Tech. We won't go into why he's not at Virginia Tech. But it wasn't his fault or mine. But
was
in
your
terms
fault.
of, it was my fault. It was my fault. Him and Rashawn Gary and Jabril Peppers. It's my bad that they didn't come to Tech. So the good Boston College, very Boston College, has the number 1 rushing offense in the ACC and a top 10 in America. They're averaging 212 yards per game, 4.7 yards per carry. Typical Boston College. Leads the league in time of possession. Leading rusher, leading producer, leading everything. Thomas Castellanos, 5'10", 196 from Waycross, Georgia, UCF transfer. 760 yards on the ground, 5.2 yards per carry, 22 touchdowns, 10 of those coming through the air, 12 of those on the ground, 2,474 total yards. Their entire offense has 3,160 yards. Yes, Thomas Castellanos has accounted for 78% of the offense. It's pretty damn good. Pretty impressive. Really solid team on third down. They're third in the ACC on 44% conversion rate, and they're fantastic on fourth down. They're 73% on 30 attempts on fourth down. That is almost twice as many attempts on fourth down than the entire rest of the ACC. So if it's 4th and 1, if it's 4th and 2, Coach Hafley is going for it. That is happening. So
it's the new Paul Johnson, Jeff
yes,
Hafley.
Be aware. Things to be concerned about for Boston College. Their number 1 and number 2 running backs are out. Guaro, who was their starter last year, he is out for the season. And their backup, Robichaux, had a concussion last week. So that leaves it to Broom, who is their 3rd running back, who has less than 45 carries on the year. I don't find it tremendously interesting to talk about their wide receiver group because they just really don't throw the football that often. But I think you can literally copy and paste the Boston College preview from the last few years. They're going to run the ball. They're going to hold on to the football. Going to take a couple calculated risks. They have a good offensive line up front. That's what we're looking at on the offense. Flipping this.
Garwo. I know that some Louisville fans got mad at me for my pronunciation of Galoti or whatever. The
Jalot. We tried to get the guy an NIL deal, and they're upset.
Yeah, I know. The edge rusher at Louisville, I messed up. So Garwo is the one that I know is how you say it. I can't speak for the other guys, but
I'm pretty sure he had a sack on the first play of the game. He was probably listening to the podcast and was like, "Watch, you're gonna know my name." Joke's on you.
Man can get.
Joke's on you. We don't know it because there was no sound in the Barstool bar. There was a DJ, so we do not know how to pronounce the name. Defense, nothing to write home about. They do not get to the quarterback. They have 11 sacks on the entire year. That's second worst in the league. They do not force tackles for loss. Second to last in the league. They're second to last. I'm sorry, not second to last in the league. They're second to last in FBS. They have 3.1 tackles for loss per game. Not very good. They have the worst red zone defense in the league behind ... us, giving up points 96% of the time. If you get the ball in the red zone, up until this point, you are walking away with points.
Score. They've also attempted 3 onside kicks this year, which has nothing to do with their defense, but I just saw this.
Halfley's probably a riot at a casino, dude. This guy's out of control.
Dude, I mean, going for it on fourth down 30 plus times already. And then also, let's just roll the dice, little onside kick. Why not?
Yeah, he's hitting in blackjack with a 17. That's basically what you're learning about Jeff Hafley here. So they're bad. They are bad. We should go in there and we have played and blown out far better defenses I don't want to say far better because they're not world beaters, but Pitt, Wake Forest, Syracuse, all better defenses than Boston College.
You have to go in there. You have to watch the Louisville film and just watch the Louisville offensive linemen and say, this is what you guys need to do to Boston College. We need to be bullies out there on Saturday.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because that is my key to the game. I got to tell you, Pat, just want to take a second. Our flow today been pretty good. Looking up at the time, we're 19 minutes in, covered a lot of ground. That is my key to the game. Show up, get off the bus. Why was Virginia Tech blowing out Pittsburgh, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. Because we got off the bus and we said, I'm going to punch you in the face all game. I don't know what happened with that at Louisville. Coach Pry alluded to it in his post-game press conference. He alluded to it in his availability yesterday or Monday. We got to be the bully. We have to be the aggressor. We are a totally different looking totally different looking team when we show up and when we do that. So that's extremely important. Contain Castellanos, you win the football game. That's it. That's truly what I believe. Don't turn the ball over. Make your possessions count. And quite frankly, look, you have to win this football game. You have to win this football game. We are better than they are. We are more talented than they are. If you lose this game, you have to win every game left in the schedule to get bowl eligibility. I think 7 wins for this team are absolutely on the table. I saw a lot of tweets and a lot of conversation around, hey, we just lost to Louisville. Does that change like your feelings about going to get to a bowl game? I've said from the outset, success this season is defined by going to a bowl game. We absolutely should be able to do that. Coach Pry currently, I know year one, big rebuild, big talent gap, had some tough games on the road this year. But the narrative is Coach Pry is 1-9 on the road. He has not defeated an ACC team on the road. You have to get it. You have to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that you crushed last year.
Mm-hmm.
Crushed. 27.
I was ready to win the ACC championship after that game.
Everyone was very much fired up. I mean, Boston College had 155 yards of total offense in 2022. And this was game 2 of the Pry era with a completely leveled down roster compared to what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to field 6 times. I know and they have a completely different roster as well, but you've done it before. You know, they have guys and they have had some on their team that we have dominated and we have bullied, and we have to do that again. On offense, just play your game. Play the game that Virginia Tech is used to playing here. The game that we brought out in Syracuse and the game we brought against Wake Forest. Run that football. Establish the pass. I just don't see this game. And as far as like Boston College's defensive front, and really their front 7 is just so bad. This is more of an opportunity than a challenge, in my opinion.
Completely agree with you. Lines, which have been all over the place. What did the Hokies open as? 3.5 point favorites, 4.5 point dogs, 3.5 point dogs on the road.
I think it was 3.5 or 4.5. Yeah. And now we're 1.5.
As of this morning, Virginia Tech are 1.5 point road favorites. The over under sits at 49 points. These are the lines. They're brought to you by Benny Marzano's, not just Benny Marzano's, all the Bennies. We saw our guy, Hokie Hack, one happy camper, grabbed himself a massive pie of pizza, walked it back, hit us with the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for me. Benny's Pizza is the pizza for you and me. If you're not making that trip up to Boston College, you live in Richmond, you live in Charlottesville, you live in Blacksburg, go ahead, order yourself a pie of Benny's Pizza. Mention Sons of Saturday, you get $5 off. You are going to be the hero of your watch party. You are going to save money. You are going to be satiated on your taste buds. Could you ask for anything better? I don't believe you can. And shout out to Hunter Couture and Tucker Holloway for our 2 bite-sized interviews with Dom Bolts. Check those out on our social media. Score prediction.
I think we got Stephen Gosnell on the next one, right?
We do. That's breaking news.
Did Dom eat 3 slices that day?
I guess he did. We've clipped it out with the eating because, not a lot of people, some people get squeamish. We didn't do that with slices on the sideline. Pat was crushing that pizza. And every time I watching the Virginia Tech shoot yesterday, I was like, damn, I could really go for a slice of Benny's right now. But unfortunately, they're not in Atlanta yet. So we need to make that happen. Score prediction time. Pat, I'm I believe I'm 3-0 this year when I have tweeted from my account, Virginia Tech is going to win this football game this week.
Oh, man.
I've done it. I'm 3-0. I mean, we haven't lost any time that I've done it. Virginia Tech is going to win this football game. I'm going to pick us to win. I'm picking us to win 24-14. I think Castellanos is going to put up numbers because that's just what he does. Pin your ears back. Get after the quarterback. I'd love to see a little spy action. Maybe Tisdale or Lawson. Hey, man, this guy Castellanos, I don't care what you do all game. You're not going to let him run wild. And it makes me a little nervous because you think of a player like the Old Dominion quarterback, who is one of the worst I've ever seen, but he, decided, hey, I'm just going to run around, and was able to do that pretty effectively. It's the first time that we've really seen a dual threat quarterback. You can say Jordan Travis is dual threat. I would argue against that. I think he's just an athlete that's a really good quarterback. But this is a guy who's going to look to run, and if you give him the opportunity to do so, he's going to do so. I'm taking Tech to win 24-14, period. Win the game. Win this football game. Get you a win in the ACC on the road, and then you got to win one of the next two for bowl eligibility. But I'd like to win two of the next two if you take care of business this week. So 24-14 Virginia Tech.
Massive opportunity here for the guys in orange and maroon. Massive opportunity for Coach Price's staff to get that ACC Power 5 road win monkey off the back. This is a great spot to do it. Backs are against the wall. Didn't show up last week. How are you going to get your guys motivated to get up and fly up to Boston? How's the weather looking? Have you looked?
I have not.
Is it going to be nice? What are we thinking?
Is it going to be nice? I'm going to guess it's going to be like 52 and overcast. I have no inside track. We're
looking at 48 and sunny, but that's not very warm. But hey, it's not like Blacksburg is warm. Let's see Blacksburg on Saturday. 55 and sunny, not too different.
Yeah.
Go up there and take advantage of this opportunity. But again, you have to play your game, and you have to flip the field when you need to. You have to contain Castellanos. I also like our odds here. I like Virginia Tech in this spot. I think 21-13, similar score to you, Billy Ray.
I feel like the Boston College game is always a scoregami opportunity. It really is every time.
Yeah, this game definitely has me nervous. But again, if the mindset is right and the coaches are setting the tone as this is an opportunity rather than this is a challenge, I like our guys getting their first road win here and bringing that momentum back for next Saturday, which is already sold out for NC State Senior Day and could be the bowl game clincher. But you got to take care of business this week. You have to.
Yes. No letters from the lunch pail this week. I do want to put this out. It appears, we switch our profile picture often on Twitter. And upon reading the X Twitter rules, if you are a verified account and you switch your profile a lot, you can get throttled. You can get, as the folks like to call it, shadow banned. It appears that has happened. No, not shadow banned due to political commentary, not shadow banned due to poor language.
Bad content.
We're bad content. We are a family-friendly show 99% of the time. So no letters to the lunch pail, but I'm not going to blame the fan base. I think we're just having trouble showing up in the timeline. So I did put an inside call to Elon. He's looking at it. We'll see what happens. So Sharky,
send some good vibes our way.
Please do.
This is our business here runs on the back of twitter.com.
It does.
So, go ahead and please watch our Slam Jam video. Give it a comment, give it a like, give it a subscribe. All the positive vibes. We're looking for that because a lot of hard work went into that. A lot of good effort by our team, by our film crew, and then by the businesses that help support the opportunity. And of course, giving an opportunity for us to get some NIL involvement with our men's basketball athletes. So thank you guys for participating in the viewership. Fired up to see everyone this week in Charlotte, Thursday and Friday. And if you're like my dad, you're getting on that plane in Charlotte on Saturday morning, taking off at 8:00, getting up to Boston and making kickoff. An absolute legend. You know who's going to have a serious memento on Sunday? Kevin Finn. He's going to have
that is such a me move, man. I'll never, you know me, I'm bad with dates. And K Finn texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Boston College?" I'm like, "Sure." He says, "Oh, I'm flying in for the women's game and the men's game, and then I'm leaving that morning." I was like, "Oh, that's the week that is. That is a psycho move." I'm happy to hear that you're doing it. You can hold it down for me. I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. So
much respect.
Big Hokies respect.
Have you done any good shout outs lately, Bill? I feel like
I have a good shout out. I want to shout out David Cunningham, who put out a phenomenal article about Hunter Couture and some of the struggles that he went through last year. I love Hunter Couture, great kid. You'll always see a smile on his face, going out of his way to be kind, be uplifting, go out of his way to embrace Virginia Tech fans and everything that is Virginia Tech. Feels like he's been here for a million years. It dove into his injury last year. It dove into his father's battle with cancer, and just a really, really well done by David Cunningham. Obviously, a hat tip to him for having that conversation, and a hat tip to Hunter for being open to talk about that. So I did think that was fantastic. We'll share that on our Twitter, but definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Hunter's last ride here as a Hokie, 14 3-point field goals away from, is it breaking or tying the all-time 3-point record?
Breaking, and 300 is in play. 300 is a real opportunity. And you know what? I'll address it. I make mistakes on social media sometimes. I did put out a post yesterday. Could be the reason for the throttle. I put out a post yesterday of Hunter Couture's lookalikes. What celebrity does Hunter Couture look like? And I had some good ones. I had Orlando Bloom from Pirates of the Caribbean. Probably should have led with that one. I had Leonardo DiCaprio from The Departed. I know that Pat had submitted one. What was the one from iCarly?
Freddie from iCarly.
Freddie from iCarly.
With matching up with Hunter from high school.
And it's unfortunate that high school Hunter Couture looked so much like Drake Bell.
He doesn't, though.
He does.
Listen.
He does.
There's some people who are good at the lookalike game. There's some people who are not so good at the lookalike game. I might have to just call you out right now. I don't know if you have the gene.
I mean, I would resurface it if it wasn't something I was making fun of. But I did say that Hunter Couture looked like Drake Bell. If you are unfamiliar on why that may not have landed, you can go check it out. It has not been a great last couple of years for Drake Bell. Here it is. I just uploaded it. You all can let us know if this is who it looks like. But that is the Hunter Couture photo that I believe looks like Drake Bell.
Looks like Freddie, man.
I mean, he can also look like Freddie. He also can look like that. But you all can be the judge on that. But yeah, so that post has been removed. Maybe it'll come back later. We'll swap Freddie for Drake and we'll go from there. But I do accept responsibility. That is on me. My bad.
Be on the lookout for a lot of awesome content coming from our basketball writing team and podcasting team as well. Mike and Ed and myself and Billy Ray will be joining the Hoops Pod. Roback, the Commonwealth, and the Berg. Christmas time is coming. Black Friday is coming. Get ahead of all of that. Order a Commonwealth polo, Virginia state-themed polo from Roback. You got the orange and maroon on the back. You got the Virginia print on the front. Same with the Berg quarter zip. I love that. that quarter zip. It fits great. It fits fantastically, both from rhoback.com. You got to use SunsVT as your promo code for 20% off your first order. Get involved, get on there. Just really good stuff, really quality stuff from our friends at Rhoback. And great seeing them a few weeks ago. So I definitely encourage that. And also, as mentioned on the previous podcast, want to promote the K5K going on in the Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area on November 18th. It is a run for Kendra Atherton. It's a 5K event that raises money for college-bound students who have lost a parent to cancer. Scholarships go to Hampton Roads students as well as students at Virginia Tech. The run is to honor Kendra Atherton, who graduated from Tech and lost her battle to cancer in 2012. Over the past 10 years, over $120,000 have been raised for the scholarship fund there. You can learn more at www.k5k.run. And shout out to Hunter and Carter and our friends down in the Virginia Beach 757 area who will be participating next weekend. Encourage you guys to get involved if you will be local and hang out with some Hokies that day. You're on mute.
Last thing, I do encourage everybody. We love Mac Lane and we love Gramlich. They both did a interview with Liz Kitley and a member of the Iowa basketball team. Forgetting her name. Apologies. But it was fantastic. We have retweeted that. Go check that out. Huge week for Virginia Tech basketball and Virginia Tech football. One last note, watched Auburn last night against Baylor. Baylor's a damn good team. I would encourage you to check out Auburn all the way up until like the last 2 minutes. Auburn was playing fantastic against Baylor. That is going to be a great challenge for our team in late November when we go to Auburn. I believe I'm going to that game with Ed. But in terms of content, there's this podcast, there's a Slam Jam, there is Behind Enemy Lines with Sam that's coming out. Mike and Ed just recorded a Hokie Hoops podcast that'll be out soon here as well. Just crushing content. A lot of content coming out. So for those of you Hokies making the trip to Boston College, have fun. If you need recommendations, hit me up. I love Boston. We talked about that ad nauseum. I've done a good job on this podcast, not talking about it too much.
You have. I was about to give you a Sharky shout out for not being that guy.
That's right.
You go back on the season preview pod. Billy Ray's like, we're talking about the away games. Like Billy Ray's like, oh, I am absolutely going to that game, like without a doubt. There's nothing like Boston. Blah blah blah. And he's gonna be in the Queen City this weekend.
Going to be in the Queen City celebrating basketball, football, and Pat Finn. Little birthday festivities going on this weekend, which we're excited about. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, show some love, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Beat Boston College. You can do it. You can do it, and you will do it. Tweets
Enjoy
going out.
Enjoy the games. Go sports.
Go teams. Go Hokies.
Hokies on top.